Stretch out the dreams from my mind. Granny's got the scoop, let's unwind. Birds are chirping, singing their tune. Mystery of the day coming soon. Cup of tea and a buttered scone. Start the day, we're never alone. Good morning, rise and shine. Granny's here with stories so fine. Good morning, off we go. To greet the world with a happy glow.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning so far. Let's get started. Grab your coffee, your tea, your espresso, your cappuccino, your juice, whatever it is that you drink in the morning. Let's get started on Spotlight on the Missing with Granny. Today we're looking at Alison Odalis Ventura Gomez. Quite the name. Alison has been missing since July 12th, 2024. She was last seen in Bedford County, Tennessee. She's 17 years old, 5 feet 3 inches tall, 125 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. If anyone knows anything about the disappearance or where Alison might be, please call 911 or 1-800-TBI-FIND. Our next missing person is Tarlasia. I hope I'm saying it right. Tarlasia Harding. Tarlasia's been missing since November 4th, 2024. She was last seen in Nashville. 16-year-old female, 4 feet 11 inches tall, 130 pounds, black hair, and brown eyes. If anyone knows anything about Tarlasia's disappearance, please call the Nashville Police Department, 911, or 1-800-TBI-FIND. Guys, our missing children are important. We need to bring them home. There's too many of them. So today we are talking about a tragic case, but good news, right? Good news that a girl was found. Incredible. So kind of a good news story today instead of all the drama that goes on, right? But I'm going to present my screen and let's just get started here. Where she was found is not so great, I have to admit. All credit goes to Law and Crime on the case.
This is an alleged sexual predator who held a missing teen girl captive for months, states away from her home. Police say Maximilian Bondrescu is a registered sex offender and held the girl against her will. They say when he did let her out, he did it to make her work for his snow removal company, forcing her to shovel snow and wear a mask to cover up her identity. What police say cracked the case of this missing girl who is not seen for 4 months. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart.
Okay, so one of the things I wanted to look at there was that home, which is kind of different, right? If you think about it, it's kind of a nice home for an SA offender to be living in, right?
That we're following out of Colorado is chilling, according to the court documents that we just got. And it's especially chilling if you're a parent and if you're a parent of a teenager. Listen to this. I want you to meet Maximilian Bondrescu. This is his mugshot from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. He is currently in custody in Fort Collins, Colorado. He is already a registered sex offender. We'll dive into his background a little bit more in just a moment. But I want to break down what we know about this case at this point from the court records that we received out of Fort Collins, Colorado. This case actually starts months ago in a different state in December of last year. Police raided the home in Fort Collins where Bundrescu was living. That was in April, and police say they found a 16-year-old girl hiding in a closet in the home. Bundrescu had told officers when they arrived that they wouldn't find a juvenile female in the house, but get this, according to the arrest document, he told them that they may find an adult female. That certainly sounds like a suspicious thing to allegedly say to police when they arrive at your home. According to police, that girl that they found in a closet inside of the home was from Missouri, and she was reported missing 4 months ago. So let's go back to the beginning when this case first started. In December of last year in Boone County, Missouri, which is in the central part of the state near Columbia, Missouri, the girl's dad called police saying that when he got home from work one day, his daughter was gone. He learned that she hadn't been at school that day. He tried to call her cell phone, but those calls went unanswered. Police learned that this girl did not have a history of running away, but they did know that she had a history of communicating with adult men on social media. Police would.
So, guys, please, any parents out there with teenagers, watch what your children are doing out online. Have good talks with them, right? Because it's so important. She was already talking to men online, older men. She was 15 years old, and she was known for that. Now, she had never run away before, but what she saw in this man, I don't have a clue. Maybe he used a different picture. I don't know. Because looking at his mugshot, I don't know why a young girl would go for that. But there are young girls that just do not understand that this is dangerous, right? It's dangerous. It's so dangerous.
Learn that she allegedly met Maximilian Bundrescu on a dating app called Boo. They met in November 2024, which was a month before she would go missing in the beginning of December that year. Now, this is a dating app. The fine print says you should be 18 years old to be on the app. But again, this girl was under the age of 18. She was 15 at the time. This app describes itself as being for, quote, connecting with compatible and like-minded souls, date, chat, match, make friends, and meet new people by personality. In April, one of the girl's classmates contacted police to say that they did hear from the girl. She hadn't been heard from since December, so this was a big development for a case that to this point appeared to have gone somewhat cold. The student said that the girl told her that she was in a, quote, different state and, quote, it's better out here with a heart emoji. She also stated she was in California. Police say those interactions happened on Instagram, and those interactions, they're really what cracked the case. Even though the girl had said in that message, allegedly, that she was in California, police got the IP address information from that communication and they tracked her to Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, the address that came back showed that living in the home was a registered sex offender by the name of Maximilian Bundrescu. Police.
It's quite the name, Maximilian Bundrescu. Now, here's the other thing. And I recognize it would be a big job, but with SA offenders, do they not keep an eye on what they're doing? I mean, I guess he was on a dating app that was supposed to be 18 and older. So it would have been the girl's fault because she was on a dating app that she should have been 18. But he had to have known, don't you think? I mean, that was the whole point, right? It just seems like, her dad should have been more in tune with what she was doing, maybe, keeping better tabs on her. This parole officer, Maximilian's parole officer, I don't know. I don't know, guys. here's where my mind goes is, how can these things be prevented, right? That's where my mind is going with all of this. And I'm please don't misunderstand me. I'm not blaming the father at all. At all. I'm not. Because she was on a site that she shouldn't have been on. If it says you're supposed to be 18, then you're supposed to be 18 if you know right from wrong. I guess that's the thing. I just, we need to have better conversations with our children. We need to make them aware that this kind of behavior is dangerous. You could meet the wrong type of people. It's very, very dangerous.
Police say they then found the girl in a closet of the home. And when they did, she was naked, but they said that she was calm and she was willing to communicate with police and tell them about what allegedly happened. The girl, who's now 16 years old, told police that she met Bondrescu online. She knew that he was in his 40s and that they arranged for him to drive from Colorado more than 11 hours to central Missouri to pick her up back in December. She said that Bondrescu wrapped her in a blanket when they got to Colorado, and he carried her into the house in Fort Collins. And the reason he did that was he was living in a home with 2 roommates, and he didn't want the roommates to allegedly see her, saying that he would be in trouble if they found out that he had a 15-year-old girl with her. Now, she went on to say that Bondrescu allegedly made her dye her hair, wear glasses, even wear a face mask if they ever left the house. But that only happened a handful of times. One time she talked about making a trip to Walmart. But for the most part, she said she stayed inside the room, inside that home for 4 months.
How does that happen? He's living with 2 other people. Evidently, these people knew he was an SA offender. How did she stay in that house for 4 months without being seen? She really wanted to be there that badly with that man? I mean, guys. And she knew he was over 40. I'm just so heartbroken how a 15-year-old girl can think that that's okay, and can think that that's the way she really wanted to live the rest of her life. She's 15 years old. She should be out enjoying being with her friends, doing things, going to parties. Yes, that's part of being 15, right? And going shopping, doing things with her friends. Instead, she's holed up in a room with a 40-year-old man in a different state. And she's okay with that. How does this happen? How does this happen?
I want to pause on the story for a moment to talk about something really important, and that.
Okay. Just trying to get past the.
And they also claimed that he forced her to wear a metal collar with a lock as well as handcuffs. She told police that there were times that she told Bondrescu to stop, and he would allegedly tell her that she liked it and he would keep going. Police also say that Bondrescu would not let the girl go home when she asked. She reportedly asked multiple times, according to the court documents that we read, and he said no, because he would tell her that he couldn't afford to let her go home. Also, when you think back to this.
Okay, so this makes more sense now. He brought her there by her own free will, but then he chained her around the neck, put handcuffs on her. Now she's starting to realize that things are not good, right? So it's making more sense why she stayed. I mean, she really didn't have a choice at this point. So I get that now. It makes much, much more sense. because gosh, I was thinking, how could a 15-year-old girl, submit herself to this? But she didn't know. She didn't know.
Cell phone calls that her dad says that he made to her in the days after she went missing, and those calls went unanswered. She says that's because Bundrescu broke her phone with a rock when he took her out of Missouri. We did learn one of the ways the girl was allowed to leave the house was when Bundrescu allegedly forced her to work for his snow removal company. It was called Foco Snow Go. Take a look. Here's the logo on Facebook. That page is still public at the time of this recording. Police say the girl was forced to allegedly wear a mask while shoveling to conceal her identity and age, according to police. Now, here's a post from when the girl was allegedly being held by Bundrescu in January. This may have been one of the times that she was forced to shovel snow while being held captive, allegedly, police say, by this man. Now, we know that Bundrescu, he was convicted of communication with a minor for immoral purposes already. When police tried to talk to him after his arrest in this case, they say he denied having sex with the girl, and he claimed that she was only at the house for a few weeks, not the 4 months that police say this happened. They also say, as the questioning went on, he became uncooperative and he had to be restrained. Bundrescu is facing these charges. You can see there are several of them, including kidnapping of a child, sexual assault on a child, second-degree assault, and false imprisonment of a minor in a room, among several other charges. Join us now to talk more about this.
Okay. So I want to just kind of go back to that a little bit here. So, failure to register as an SA offender, incomplete registration, child abuse, harboring a minor, and obstructing a peace officer. Those are all misdemeanors, right? But these are felonies. So, I mean, hopefully he's going to get put away for a good while here. I'm thankful. It is a good news story. This child has been brought home. Hopefully, she's learned a couple of things. She's now 16. And she would never make a mistake like this again. Guys, she could actually be used now to tell her story to other teens to say, please be careful. Don't meet other people online, Enjoy your life. Enjoy your teen years, because this is serious. This is awful, right? She asked to be taken home many times, I guess. So, I'm thankful that she's home. I'm thankful that this man was caught, right? We need more stories like this where people who are doing these things are put behind bars. I just saw a story where 115 SA offenders were put behind bars, and over 100 children were found as a result of that sting operation. So it's happening, guys. There's been a crackdown on this type of thing, and I'm glad it's been sorely needed. There is too much SA trafficking going on in our country and probably all over the world. And in my opinion, it has to stop. It just has to stop. Our children are our future. They need to be protected, because once they've been subjected to something like this, they have to live with this for the rest of their lives, guys. They need therapy. It's horrific. So, my heart goes out to these kids. I cannot even imagine what they must go through in something like that. This old granny does not want to see any children abused or hurt, or it breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart. All right, so that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate each and every one of you that watch. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and switch it to all so that you are notified whenever we go live which is most nights 5 p.m. around 5 p.m. Central Time. Thank you so much and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at grannyscrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.